up, everybody? My name is Brian McLogan, and in this stream, I'm going to talk about why I have a missing tooth. And if you want to be tutored by somebody with a missing tooth, well, then this is the live stream for you. This is actually really, really difficult for me to talk with a missing tooth like this. And so I'm not sure how long I'm going to go on this live stream, but to be consistent, which I always tell you guys to do, I was like, I have to still go live, even though I might sound really, really funny. Hey Ralph, good to have you on. And yeah, I wanted to let you guys know about I again my promotion kind of for the tutoring. So one thing that I'm looking into, like obviously on the thumbnail, like becoming a student of mine, because one thing that I will continue to be doing is doing the live streams just like now. I have been doing some thinking for this new year of maybe just doing some problems, maybe in a different format. Because sometimes like on Sunday nights, it does get a little overwhelming to, do 30 minutes of talking and 30 minutes of math questions. Um, so I might have something different here for you guys, where it just might be a little bit more flexible for me to be able to do the problems on a different channel. So I will let you guys know a little bit more about that. But one thing I still really, really like doing is working with students. And obviously, when you guys submit questions, I'm still helping you, but we don't get like that back and forth, right? Sometimes I get to check in the chat and I can kind of see, if you're here, if you have any further questions. But a lot of times it's just me doing math to a computer, right? And then you guys are online watching me and, talking to each other and stuff like that. So it kind of gets, yeah, sometimes a little bit weird. Or at least, not really that kind of interaction that I kind of miss from being inside the classroom. So one thing I did at the beginning of this year, oh man, I wanted to have, let's see if I can move this out. Okay. So one thing I did at the beginning of the year is I added on some students to kind of be tutored. And so anyways, if you're just joining on, what happened is I missed a tooth. My veneer fell out. It's not going to be fixed until Tuesday. So that's why I sound really weird with a lisp. And yeah, it's gonna be fixed. So new videos will be coming out this whole week. I didn't record any videos. I just sat there and did work, did other kind of work. But yeah, anyway, so I began the year and I kind of found some students. And last week, if you were caught my live stream, or you can go and check it out, was Giselle, who was one of the first students that I helped with the tutoring. And so we kind of prepared her for a teacher exam. And what I really like doing is, helping students be able to overcome, a test or a struggle or a class, whatever they may have. And so what I figured out was obviously I don't have the ability or the time to tutor a lot of people. And the only way to kind of limit the tutoring with a lot of people would be like, hey, just make myself not available, like first come, first serve, or like raise your prices. And I just didn't really feel like either one of those was the right fit for me, because I feel like there's a lot of students that have a lot of needs, and either they might not, satisfy with my availability, or, have the money or the funds to like, pay for like a tutoring service. And I know there's a lot, like the people that pay a lot of money for tutoring. So what I decided was, I really want to make sure that I can, be available for as many different people as possible. And I really don't like the idea of having my value or my time being like as compensated like on a tutoring. Obviously I sell courses and you can buy my courses, right? I sell stuff, um, like tests and worksheets and stuff like that. You can buy my stuff there. You can buy my merch, right? You can buy a t-shirt and all those other kind of things that I offer. But I felt like for the tutoring, I didn't want to have that as that relationship of you pay me. And then, so that's why my tutoring, when you become like a student, it's free. It's absolutely free. Don't ask for you to do anything. You don't have to do anything else. The only catch, which there is a catch, is that all the sessions are recorded. And I don't even think for the first two sessions I did, I'm going to use them, but I may, just kind of depends. I may use your story to kind of make it together as like a YouTube video. So obviously I'm not going to, even though we're going to record our sessions together, it's not like a recording of like, oh, hi, you didn't understand how to do this math problem. Like, look at you, and like show everybody in the world, like how you didn't know how to do a math problem. No, the purpose of the recording is really to kind of show your journey of you kind of learning math. Now, I totally understand some people or some people's parents are definitely not cool with that. And I get it. Like that's just complete reality. Unfortunately though, that is really um that is kind of like where my, one thing where I feel like it's the benefit. It's the most benefit from on me because, one thing I've talked about previously, the other reason why I really wanted to do this or, tell the story of somebody else is because, I sell my story a lot of times of like why and how I challenge or how I struggled with math. But I think it's also really important for students to see other students overcome their, kind of, their struggles, stuff like that. So if you are interested in joining in, I do have the link to the tutoring opportunity, which why is it two? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I do have the link in the chat. So if you're interested, it's also in the description for you guys on there, and you guys can go ahead and check it out. And obviously, if you guys have any questions on that, feel free to let me know inside the chat. I'll be on a little bit, but obviously, kind of talking like this with my lisp is just kind of it's annoying. It's difficult. I've had some conversations on the phone, some Google Meets last week, and it was just so hard, like to kind of talk the way that you always talk and like just hear yourself like being so different. Um, but yeah, anyways, trust me, it'll get fixed. So there's gonna be no videos going on with this because I know it kind of looks weird looking at me from on there. So mini magnet, all you have to do if you want to be a student is just go to the link that's in the description or that's in the chat. It's pinned. Just go and add in your information. You have to, if you don't have to opt in, guys. You can just check it out. There's no opt in. Again, this is a completely free opportunity. The only thing that you do have to do is like an internet connection. You have to be available on recording. And typically, like the way that I look at this opportunity is roughly, I want you to be like approaching something like the test or the end of the year or, something in that regard where we can put our tutoring sessions together. We can kind of get a baseline, see where you're at. I can help you overcome some things, and then you can go ahead and take that assessment. And then obviously the goal, like the whole purpose of this is to be like, hey, you passed, or hey, you got a B, or like whatever your goal was, whatever you wanted to do. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to help you guys out with. So if that's something you're interested in and you're okay with like being tutored, and you're okay with it being recorded and, then yeah, like, that's, I would definitely just say, check on the link and go into it. So, saying what's happened to your tooth. So I had a veneer, so actually to tell you the truth, what I used to do, where is it? Oh, here's the pencil. So whenever I marked, on the board, what I used to always do is I go like this. Always. So anytime, like when I don't, I'm sure there's some parts in the videos I have it, but usually just be like, whatever, I go like this, do. I always do that. I always took off the top with my teeth. Well, what happened was I eventually got like a little cut or like a little chip on my tooth. And so what happened was obviously they put on like a 3/4 veneer, um, on there. Well, that veneer fell off and it's getting redone. And most people would say, oh my God, you can't go live like this. But I'm like, I gotta go live because I go live every single Sunday night at 9, or actually not 9, at 8:30 p.m. So that'll be it. Hello, sir. Could you elaborate on would you like to be my student? Yes. So you might be joining in. So just go ahead and take a look at the link. It's in the chat. And basically, I am offering a tutoring, a couple, 3 to 5 tutoring sessions. I mean, it's not like a forever tutoring session, or I don't have like a course load. Like, obviously, if you want to buy my pre-calculus course, like you can become my student and buy my pre-calculus course. That's not really what I'm selling in this live stream. What I'm selling is an opportunity to work with me directly for free. And basically, we would just get on a Google Meets and, basically just kind of go over what you are working with. So it's like 3 to 5, like 60-minute sessions. We get to know each other and get to know like what your struggles are and, help you out. Obviously I have had to deny some people like with the math, that they're doing. Like I just wasn't comfortable like with it. Obviously I've been a math teacher for 14 years, so I've covered a lot of math, but obviously like if I'm not like as a tutor, I want to make sure that I can deliver value for you, even if it's free. I'm not going to just take you on and be like, oh, it's free. Like, let's try to make a video out of this. Like, no, that's stupid. I want to give you value. I want to make sure I can help you out. So if I don't feel like every tutoring session, or put it this way, if I have to put in a lot of work to get prepped to remember some of your stuff or like to go through some of the problems, it just might not be a good fit. All right. So like any other higher level math, like even up to calculus, it's been so long since I've gone through calculus curriculum. I wouldn't say even with calculus, I'm just going to have to do too much prep. Like it just wouldn't be a good use of my time. or yours, because we get on there and I'd have to like review so much, like it'd take me a while to come up from there. So I saw somebody said, what grades were you looking at? Yeah, Moj. So what grades you cover? I would basically say like anything from like middle school and high school, except for like the upper level statistics, no. Physics, no. Um, physics, no. Math, no. Right. So not, I'm not math, but calculus, um, not one of those. Why is it not four on there? So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do, calculus or any of those upper level from on there. Well, you're very welcome. Could you explain the difference? So the remainder theorem and the factor theorem are very similar. And obviously you can be able to tell by, obviously using by plugging in like your f of k. And basically when you plug in f of k, you're going to get r, right? Whenever you plug in k, like which is your zero, you get r. That's going to be the remainder of the polynomial of the two polynomials if you were to divide them. If r is equal to zero, then that tells you if your r is equal to zero, then that tells you your k is a zero of the function. Therefore, when you do x minus k, that is going to be a factor of the polynomial. So I probably didn't do it justice. I'd probably have to go and get onto my board, but with my little list that I have, I'm not sure if I want to go and pull all this stuff up. Yes, you're very welcome, Brittany. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm working right now through going back through the calculus curriculum. It's just I'm not like obviously even when I was teaching, it's been like 3 years since I was teaching calculus, and I'm like, there's just so much to remember and so much to go over. So I'm actually creating some more videos on it and going through it. But yeah, probably for like maybe next year would probably be a good idea. And unfortunately, that's not going to help you if you're taking calculus. Um, but yeah, maybe I'm looking for hopefully next year to have some calculus stuff. Well, unfortunately, I stepped away from the classroom. So I always liked, I stepped away from classroom 2 years ago from on there. But yeah, some students cared about it. Some students thought it was cool. Some students like could care less. It's just kind of, I don't know, either or. Initially, I came to school, I'm under 18. Does that mean that I have to do any extra to get tutored? Yes. So I do have a waiver that you would need to be signed by your parents. So that's actually in the Google form. If you go to the Google form, it basically just like has a place for your parents to sign, giving you permission to get on the, Google stuff and stuff like that. And obviously, dealing with anything like under 18, like obviously any publishing or anything like that, like I would make sure to, again, do a second variable of getting things approved and stuff like that. But yeah, so I have everything for under 18. If you would, but you just need to get your parents' permission. So you don't have to be over 18, but you do have to have, parent or parental permission. And that is all on the Google form. Well, the discriminant negative b divided by 2a, that is going to give you the axis of symmetry of the quadratic. Awesome. Andrew left some advice on how to prepare. Man, I've been talking about how to prepare for your exam for a while. Maybe go back and check a couple of videos that I made on preparing. I do have some recent videos on how to prepare for your exam. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's really anything I can say right now that give it justice. Like I just made some videos a couple weeks ago on it. But yeah, I think, try and do some practice problems as much as you possibly can, plan out your time, and try to just do something. When do you say next week? Our tour is coming up. Oh, coming up. So I don't know when they're coming up, but I would probably like if it's like in a week or 2 weeks, mark down the day and try to do some math every single day. Review your notes, review your quizzes, review your homework, practice problems, right? But make sure you're doing something consistent, like 30, 45 minutes, and like do it, But I do have a video kind of going over that more in detail. Bang. Dang, man, I'm going to say here, smart man with good looks. Even though you're not 30 anymore, that is correct. I'd be surprised if I look as good as you 50 years. Oh, thank you so much. I thought you were going to make a bad comment about my tooth, but it's okay. Um, well, awesome. So happy to help you out. Yeah, of course. Why would you not have a chance? There's like, it's not a giveaway. It really just depends on you filling in the form and going in from them. So obviously I can't accept everybody that fills in the form, but but yeah, it just kind of depends on the math you're working through. And yeah, like my, depending on how many students want to go. And obviously the same thing. It's like, in reality, guys, like I'm not just doing tutoring to do tutoring. Like you got to remember, like the purpose, like of this is kind of twofold, right? The purpose of this is like one, I want to be able to help students. I want to be like have that kind of like tutoring like relationship and like, helping you like overcome some struggles and stuff like that. Like that's something I miss. Like even though I'm doing problems, on my live streams, I don't get that connection, right? With actually helping you personally out. It's like you're just putting a math problem in front of me and be like, do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And you're like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome. But like, that's it. Right. And so by doing like a little bit of that tutor relationship, we just get a little bit better back and forth, so on and so forth. And then the other thing though, remember, it's like, my point that I also want to bring out for you is like, with I'm not charging, I'm looking to tell a story. I'm looking to be able to kind of showcase your journey as a student. So not to say that you have to be mad at math, not to say that you have to struggle with math. But what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to look forward to like a test or an exam or something that we can be like, all right, like we have two or, three, two, three, four, 5 sessions together. What do we need to do? So therefore you can get an A, right? Or pass or whatever may be the case. And yeah, like, and I want to record our sessions up to that point and obviously compress everything down to like like the video that I can like highlight our journey together, like getting you to pass a test. Like that's my goal. Like that's like obviously I want to be able to help you out on our sessions and everything else, but I also want to be able to inspire other students to continue putting in the work, to continue getting better in math and achieving more, right? Because I feel like a lot of students still just kind of feel like sometimes they still feel like they're the only one, even though it's so common to have struggled with math or to have failed and everything else. Students sometimes still feel like they are the only one that struggles or the only one that doesn't get math. So that's why I want to highlight some stories of you guys, um, obviously me helping you and overcoming those. I do this. What's the best way to do conic sections, system of equations by graphing? Like, how do you get the points very precise? I would have to go and take a look at the problem. I'm not sure if I remember doing conic section systems of equations in my courses. You can submit your questions still at brianmclogan.com. And by the way, guys, if you do have questions, still math questions, I think I'm going to put them on my other channel. But yeah, brianmclogan.com/Q&A. You guys can go from that. What do you find to take pre-calc and go straight to AP BC, or Calc BC, or is that too much? No, I mean, we had a lot of students that typically, if you like got A's in my pre-calculus course, I would say that you were prepared for BC. Now, again, I don't really know how your school is with how it prepares or how it prepares on pre-calculus or how it teaches BC, but at least in my school, in my experience, students that like got A's or like were the top in my pre-calculus class, they were able to do fine in BC. Now, we also had another course, which was our ACE curriculum that we recommended they go into before they took BC, but not all those students did it because most of the students that were like in my advanced pre-calc class, they were sophomores. So then they would take the ACE math in junior year and statistics, and then they took Calc BC senior year. So it wasn't all of them, but quite a few. Well, hey, Dr. Seth, good to have you on. Thank you so much for joining in. Wait, did I get it? No, I didn't get it. Why is you not going? Oh, there you go. Well, hey, Dr. Seth, good to have you on. What do you find to take for? Okay, I already got that. And yes, guys, I did lose a veneer for those of you that are joining in live. I do apologize for that. I will get fixed on Tuesday, and then I'll start recording some more videos for my channel. And then also, if you are kind of wondering about this tutoring stuff like that, like obviously you can go and check back on the live stream where I talk a little bit more about, which I'll do again. But also, everything that I say is also described in the link, which is in the description as well as in the chat. Awesome. So happy to help you out, Swish. AXXIV. If you can go ahead and post that into brianmclogan.com/Q&A. That's where all the math questions can go. It's a little bit easier for me to look at that from there. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Our college students, yes, absolutely. So actually, the first two students, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, great, like I'll do this at the beginning of the year. I'm like, all right, yeah, great. I'll get some college students and I'll get some high school students. I'm like, this would be great. I didn't even think about like adults and or non-students, and it ended up, even though I had like a lot of high school and college students like apply, I I ended up not being able to work with any of them. Some of it was curriculum, some of it was timing, some of it was just not like the right fit. And, and calendar just didn't work out. And so my two tutoring opportunities actually became like adults. So I wasn't even planning on like tutoring adults, but yeah, like one, Giselle from last week's live stream, she wanted to be a teacher. Um, and the other student, who I may be able to highlight here coming up as well, Sam, he was just going back to school and he needed to pass an examination. So, not what I was thinking, but I was like, oh, it definitely worked out perfectly fine. And I really enjoyed their sessions. But yeah, I would like to obviously have my goal, and that's kind of like the one to like the Rona asked, like, well, it would be a student. Well, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to tutor 5 pre-calculus students, right? Um, I do want to get a variety of like, an algebra 1 or like, an 8th grade, and it could be like a calculus, college algebra in college, like whatever may be the case. Like, but having some diversity, not only just like having students that are, in North America, but like all over the world and that I can touch. Like, I really think that is really cool. Like um, Giselle and Sam, both I believe in the Philippines and Australia. So it's really cool. Um, Well, obviously, the rate of instant rate of change is the rate of change at an instant, and average rate of change is the rate of change between two given values. Whenever people in my class are really struggling with math, I always tell them just look up Brian McLogan. Next time I see them, they tell me you saved them. Well, awesome! I'm so happy to help. That's so cool. Um, hmm. Yeah. All right. Can you help me with understanding the laws of tangent law of sines? I'm not sure what you mean. But yeah, any math questions, guys, go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A. And I'll probably see where I might be able to do those. So if you're joining on, so this cost of tutoring to become my student is absolutely free. Free. Not a charge. Not charging. I could charge. Probably make more economic sense for me to charge. But that's not the point of me doing the tutoring. That's not the point of me wanting you to be a student of mine. Is for that exchange of funds, for exchange of knowledge or helpness. What I want to do is I want to be able to help you overcome either a struggle or an obstacle that you have. Maybe it's a test. Maybe it's like overcoming a bad grade. Maybe it's an exam. Like maybe it's just passing the class, like whatever may be the case. I want to plan on taking like 3 to 5 sessions with you and helping you out, helping you overcome that. And in exchange for not charging for my time or charging for my tutoring abilities, what I want to have is the ability to be able to record our sessions, and then at the end, package everything together as a video that I may be able to use to be able to tell your story. So again, just to reiterate, I think a lot of students feel like, oh, I don't want you to record me tutoring, like our tutoring sessions. Like, well, yeah, I'm not recording like me, you feeling like, oh, I don't know how to do this, and like, or getting emotional or anything like that. Like, look at me. I am perfectly okay with showing my tooth being broken. I'm perfectly okay with, um, with crying on a YouTube video. Like, I'm pretty open, and I know that a lot of students are not that way. It's definitely taken me a lot of time to get to this point. But the point that I want to, the point I want to make with you on this is like, if I'm going to end up putting your story together as a video, then yeah, I mean, it's about the story. It's not about what you know and what you don't know about the tutoring, right? But anyways, the only way to be able to get to that point would be to like record our sessions, okay? So yeah, that's kind of the entry. That's the charge, is recording, being able to record our sessions, and possibly put that together into a video that I'd post on my channel. Kind of telling your story and stuff like that. So, it's not for everybody. You don't have to be older 18. Like, I do have a parent waiver that you can have your parent or guardian sign from that. You don't have to be in the United States. You do have to have an internet connection and a camera. That's, internet connection, camera, and be willing to put in the work. because, one of the thing that is the one thing I don't like about private tutoring, and I'm actually going to talk about this on a video that's coming up, is like I could charge you. I mean, yeah, I could charge whatever I want to. I mean, all right, let me see how let me see how I'm going to phrase this. No matter what I charge, or no matter what I do within a tutoring session, you're only going to get out of that tutoring session is what you're going to do, right? Like you could pay for like double the price of, like, let's say you have like a cheap tutor, a medium tutor, and an expensive, like, um just because you're paying for like a more expensive tutor, they might have more qualifications, they might have more, experience and blah, blah, blah. But if you're not putting in the work, if you're not doing anything at home, like, you're going to very much limit it to what your experience or what your output is for that tutoring session. So that was the kind of like my main point that I want to get out of this is like, hey, I'll tutor you for free. Like I'll push you and stuff like that, but you got to be willing to put in the work. And that's one of those things also that, we'll talk about on kind of like an initial call is like, tutoring is not just like me answering questions, like, these live streams that I would do and I'm just helping out. No, no, no. It's like, we're telling a story. Like we're finding a test. We're finding a date that we are going to say, this is the date that I need to get you prepared for. And so then my goal turns to be like, all right, what do I need to do? How can I make these sessions the most beneficial for that student to overcome the challenge that they see ahead of them? And yeah, that's what the tutoring is all about, right? So it's not just about like, oh, great, he's gonna be available for me to like answer questions whenever I need him. That If that's what you're looking for, this isn't the tutoring assignment for you. Like, yeah, you may want to just pay somebody to do that. Like, that's not what this tutoring session is about. This tutoring session is about like, all right, I want to get an A on this test. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Let's schedule out our sessions and let's figure out where you're at and let's do some problems and get you going, right? So it's not of, oh, great, I'm like, if in case I don't know how to do my homework, I can just call McLogan and he'll help me. That's not what the sessions, how how they're designed. So unfortunately, no. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of units. I mean, too many to like name off. Um, Juan, I just answer. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously we can get in a little bit, but I mean, I just went through the basic definition from there, but yeah, I can definitely understand like your confusion with that. If you have an example, go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A. What advice would you give to a student who is doing the Calc BC test only? Practice, 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 practice. Do as many practice exams as you humanly can do possible. I think the more practice you can do, the more and better prepared you will be. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Perfect. So much better than I could do at the moment. Awesome. Andrew, that is beautiful. You know what? Just before you did that, I'm just going to post your stuff up there because I really, really appreciate you hopping on and being able to help me out because I'm trying to get caught up with my chat. And you just looks like I can't actually read it any time to read it, but you gave it a very classic example. Looked like as far as the average velocity and distance traveled. Tips on Calc 3. I'm not sure. I mean, any tip from Calc 3 is going to be the same as Calc 2, Calc 1. A lot of my tips are not going to be like, class based, but it's doing the work. Like, do the work. And when you have questions, get help. Yeah, I don't know what else I can go in on like an individual, like, tests. I mean, obviously there's things you want to do for tests and quizzes, to get prepared and stuff. But yeah, I mean, when you really break it down or think about it, like it's basic. It's in front of you. Just put in the work, right? And get the help when you need. Amazing. I feel you. I know pre-calc can be a killer. I trust me. I taught it for many years and I know it can be a brute, from there. So just to know that is what January there's a little light in the tunnel, keep on putting the work. And again, like I said to, for Danny, like when you need help, like get help, like, don't give up. Sometimes it feels like there's no end in sight. You're not gonna be able to handle it. Like you just got to breathe, to relax and put in the work. Hi, my mom told me to study for math and I just watched your videos for an hour and I got 100% of my test. Well, there you go. You don't need to study for math. You can just watch my videos. I love it. Thank you. Um, oh, well, thank you so much. Happy to help. Hey, Dad, I'm struggling with math. Dad, you watch Brian McLogan. I like that. Thank you. Um, I'm so lost on linear speed and trigonometry right now. Can you help? Um, yeah, I mean, if you want to submit a question, brianmclogan.com/Q&A, I'll be able to take a look at it and I might be able to have something on for this live stream. But I don't remember going over my linear speed on trigonometry. I'm figuring probably some word problem, but I don't think we had to cover it in at least my curriculum for on there. So it might be something I'd have to look at and I'll see if it's something I'm familiar with or not. Matt, how soon can you do tutoring to be start? Well, to be honest with you, it's I'd probably say within the next week or two. Like not like probably within like next week would be the fastest. A couple things that I need from you is obviously um we need like our schedule to be set up and obviously I need to review your video, get back to you. There's usually a bit like a couple back and forth um once you submit an application so that back and forth usually lasts I don't know, roughly about a week. Some things I need is like access to your like curriculum or like, your like the notes, like what you're doing. So I can just make sure I'm familiar with what I would be helping you out with and making sure I'm like comfortable and like can feel like I can give you good value. And then after that, yeah, we just kind of schedule it in. So I'd probably say within like a week and a half to 2 weeks, we could probably get on and a call together and go from there. So, but yeah, I'll probably after this live stream, I'm probably gonna let probably let the live stream go, and then I'll probably back on Tuesday. I will on Tuesday I'll probably start like reviewing initial batch and like starting to respond to people because I think on Tuesday I'll probably upload my next video. So yeah, we'll kind of let go through and then I'll start replying to people and then some people will be like, oh, I saw your live stream and I replied, but I don't really need it, or like whatever. Like, oh, I thought I needed help, but I didn't. That happened a lot at the beginning of the year. Students really, really wanted to join the tutoring. And then once it kind of became available, we went back and forth and we went to go and set up a session. They're like, actually, like school's kind of getting a little easy. I don't think I need tutor. I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. That happened quite a bit. So, that might be the case for you. And it might have been just me not describing the opportunity very well. So yeah, that is something some will do. But yeah, I'll probably take about a week or two to be able to get everything set up. Do you think ratings degree is best friend of each? Will you get the same answer to the end? Yes, we get the same answer. I prefer radians and when dealing with trig. So our high school has a course called multiple variable calculus. Okay, yeah, matrix algebra, and it's the highest course, being right above AP Calc BC. Any idea what it is about? Well, multivariable calculus is just going to. I don't think I actually had to be able to take it. I mean, I guess that would be your. I'm assuming that'd be the best idea for like your. Well, I thought Calc 3 would have been differential equations. That's gonna be multivariable calculus. To be honest with you, it's been so long since I went through the calculus series. I don't even, to be honest with you, remember. But I would believe that'd be like the best equivalent to like Calc 3, right? So Calc 1 is basically gonna be like your AB. Calc 2 is kind of most equivalent to like BC. And then I guess a multivariable matrix calculus would be like your kind of Calc 3 idea from there. And then every kind of like school or curriculum or college, university is going to have like a little bit different calculus series for what you're going to be depending on your major. So, if, obviously I would look into it with your math teacher and who's like, or the head of the department and just kind of see like where you're trying to go. And if that's something that you want to work with. We just asked someone entering high school in a couple of months. I'm proficient in algebra 1, but I'm wondering how advanced I should try to go in my school career. That's a great question. Wow, that's a good question. I love that question. You know, hmm. I think what I think I'd say for you is like the I mean, one, I think you, I don't know. Um, there's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of things that are going to change as you're going through school, and I think one of the things that I try to value the most is trying as many different things as possible. Um, I think it's really important that if you see something you want to pursue, then you go at it, right? But I also don't want you to have blinders on it and feel like, oh, I only like doing this, so I don't have to worry about anything else. I'm going to forget about doing anything else, like, especially things that I'm not good at. So I want you to be able to challenge yourself. I want you to be able to get out of your comfort zone. But I also don't want you to put the pressure of feeling like you have to be the best and do everything, right? Because there's going to be times and you're going to realize like, oh, I can't all my friends are in AP, and I only have this one AP. Like you can't compare yourself to other students. And also taking all the highest level course classes doesn't mean you're better, doesn't mean you're smarter, doesn't mean you're going to be more successful. So I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to do things that you um are not naturally gifted. I want you to try new things and so forth like that, but it's a fine line. I don't want you to um feel the pressure that you have to do it just because that is the way things, are expected of you or what other people are doing. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a very non-answer answer, but yeah, you know what? I mean, pick something really and go with it. And if it works out, like, or if you want to make an adjustment, then change. I mean, that's it. That's kind of like the idea of life. I mean, it's things are going to come up, things are going to change. So you just gotta be ready and willing to adjust. Well, awesome. You're very welcome. I understood my concepts, but ended up making way too many silly mistakes. Literally the worst mistakes you can imagine. Please help. You got to over prepare. That's it. You got to over prepare for your next test. So you understand the concepts. Great. Did you get enough practice doing this concepts? I don't think so. And because if you're making a lot of silly mistakes, you weren't prepared well enough. So my challenge to you would be go back over the material, or for your next test or next quiz, whatever, like, and do multiple more problems, do more practice problems. You're going to probably still make mistakes. That was me. I made mistakes no matter what, all the time. But the only way that you can get better at or to reduce those making mistakes is get yourself more prepared for taking the test. And I think that comes with doing some more practice problems. Would you mind taking a summer course for me? Algebra for pre-calc, but I'm having taken summer geometry, and I think I'd be better off doing it during the full year in ninth grade. So I prefer students, unless there's a reason and a need to take a course over the summer, I prefer that students do not take a summer math course. In my opinion, just taking a fast-paced math course over the summer when I kind of, most schools are, it's like a rejuvenation time points, and there's other things you can be doing, and in my opinion, at points should be doing. Um, and so I'm not a big proponent of taking math over the summer. Obviously, there are opportunities, and for students, obviously, there are circumstances where students need to take it. So it's not a blanket statement for everyone. But if you're just looking to take it just because you want to get ahead, I would just make sure you have that conversation with your teacher, have a conversation with your parents, have a conversation with your counselor, making sure that's going to be the right decision for you. Thank you so much, Rizzo. You're very welcome. What do you do? What do you think is the best way to prepare for a math competition? I'm currently in geometry and I'm in a competition. Awesome. Congratulations. I love it. And want to know how to practice for the best results. So in my school, we had like a competition club and we'd meet like once a week and we'd like practice problems and kind of like the same thing where I helped the student prepare for the pre-calc exam or like for like for BC, like you got to practice problems. Like that's the best way to prepare for a competition is practice problems. So I just think the more you can practice, the better prepared you're going to be. So again, guys, just to reiterate, if you are interested in being a student of mine, it's a free tutoring opportunity. All the details are in the link, which is in the chat as well as in the description. You're very welcome, King or King. Go with king. What am I to do? Thank you. Start having to your teeth. Okay, yes, my tooth is okay. I lost my veneer and I'm talking with the lisp now, but my veneer is going to be put on Tuesday, and then I'll be back to normal, hopefully. So I haven't been able to record any videos until then, so it's been kind of annoying. But I had to go live tonight. I want to let you guys know this. My let you guys know the opportunity, and I promise when we do any tutoring sessions, you guys will not have to listen to me with the lisp or the hole in my mouth. I just question, what is the purpose of basic calculus and statistics and probability in daily life? Wow. I'm assuming you have not taken basic calculus, statistics, or probability in daily life. Because I think if you would have taken those courses, you'll see the application all over. So yeah, those are some great courses where you can really see how the math that you've learned up to that point starts getting applied. So I'll soon be entering college and I'm actually a bit confused. Can you recommend something like how should I start everything like maths and go with the flow and get very nice results? Sir, I'll soon entering college and I'm actually a bit confused. Can you I mean, I'm not really sure. I think, one thing that really helped me when I was in college was I went to the tutor lab all the time. And when I started doing my math, I'd go to math class and then I went to the tutor lab. And what was really helpful about that is one, it created a routine for me, so I kind of knew like what I was doing. I always got my homework done, right? And then also it was just nice, like when I got something wrong or I didn't understand how to do something, I had tutors there to help me. Like it was awesome. So if you feel like you're a little bit confused, I would maybe just kind of start there. It could be embarrassing. Like I remember I was embarrassed. I was a math major and I was going to the tutor lab, right? So kind of embarrassing. But it's like it's kind of like what I was telling students, like on this, like, becoming my student, like some students like, oh, I'd love to like be your tutor, but I don't want to be recorded. I'm like, again, like I'm not recording like you tutoring, like it's recording like to create a story out of the video. But anyways, like I still get it. If you're never like been recorded before and like it can be different, right? It takes, a long time to get used to being in front of a camera. But anyways, like I was like, hey, you gotta be able to like you got to be able to do it. It's like, of course, it can be embarrassing, like you're getting tutored and where else, but it's like some things to get what you want, you just got to overcome some things, and that's kind of it. Robert saying, would I calculus? Probably not. I haven't taught calculus 2 and I haven't taken calculus 2 since I was in college, which was, over 15 years ago. So I just wouldn't be prepared to kind of go over their curriculum. It would just take me way too long to remember things and to go over it. So I do apologize. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to. Definitely, probably wouldn't be able to do the calculus series. My teachers don't even grading work. Wow, that's weird. Sorry about that. I think it's important to get some good feedback quickly. Can you make? Yeah, I can. I need to get back on some more videos. My teacher is confusing and my class is loud. Your videos are so helpful. The reason I'm passing math. Well, awesome. So happy to help you out. I am great. Thank you very much. Layla, just dropping by. Thank you for all your helpful math videos. Whenever I'm struggling, you are always my go-to. Keep up doing what you're doing. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I am going to stop talking because it's very difficult to be talking with a missing tooth. Again, a veneer came out. It'll be coming back on Tuesday. But if you are interested in joining me as being one of my students, again, the link is in the description. All you got to do is submit it. You got to go and record a little video, why you want to do it and everything else. And yeah, like it's basically free. Doesn't cost a thing. And basically what we'll do is we'll have like 3 to 5 sessions where our goal is to help you prepare and pass something or have some kind of objective. So again, just to reiterate, it is not a tutoring session where it's like, oh, you can just, ask me questions whenever. Like, no, I want to have a goal. I want to have something for us to strive for me to be able to help you out with. So if that is something you're interested in, if you're in middle school, high school, college, or an adult or a parent or, whatever may be the case, I'm always happy to look into your circumstance. You don't need to be in North America. You can be anywhere around the world. I have a pretty flexible schedule. I wake up early and don't really stay up late, but try to go to bed early. It just all depends on my sleep pattern. But yeah, it's I'm looking to take on some students and to help to overcome the thing. So if that is something you are interested in, then go ahead and check out the link. Again, it's in the description a pinned pinned in this chat. And I look forward to seeing your guys' submission videos and hopefully having a couple of you on my in the next couple of Google Meets, and then maybe even displaying your accomplishments in a future YouTube video. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Cheers.